last week I recreated an earthbending effect inspired by Avatar: The Last Airbender. And since season 2 is right around the corner, I thought, why not stay in that world? But this time, turn myself into Prince Zuko and create a firebending effect. So in today's video, I'm going to be transforming myself into Prince Zuko with absolutely zero budget in 5 days. Yes, I am using a bird feather as a microphone, but that's besides the point. Let's get into it.
Let's get started.
So I started by building the environment in Blender. Right away, I knew one thing is that the scene had to happen at night. Why? Because firebending looks cooler at night. That's not even debatable.
And that's fact.
So I used Quickcell Bridge assets to create the ground, and I started shaping the terrain. I even tested different HDRIs just to find the right mood, but in the end I ended up not going with any HDRIs and just adding a light and putting it into this blue moonlight color. Now at one point I thought about adding trees, and my computer immediately said so yeah, no trees.
No!
Next, I used images as plane to import a night sky. It was just an image I found on a free website. I thought about adding a moon, but then I couldn't decide on where to put it or the size or even if I needed it at all, so I ended up not using it. So then I added something subtle. I added a particle simulation with embers coming from below the ground. I added this without showing the fire, just to hint that something is already burning underneath. And then I added birds. And why birds? Because birds automatically make a scene cinematic. That's just how it works.
He's not wrong.
So let's do a test render and see what this looks like. Alright, this is looking pretty good. Now comes the hard part. Turning myself into Prince Zuko. Alright, let's be honest for a second. I don't look like Prince Zuko. First of all, we don't have the same hair, and I have a beard, and he doesn't. Oh, and yeah, I'm black. So clearly, this is going to be Prince Zuko from an alternate universe. Let's just say that. Now, the other issue is that I don't have a costume at all, and I don't even have the things in my house to help me create a costume that even remotely looks like Prince Zuko. So I'm going to do the only thing I can, the next best thing, if you will, and use Photoshop. But first, we gotta film. I filmed myself pretending to firebend, and then I filmed a close-up, and then I brought everything into After Effects. Once I was in After Effects, I rotoscoped myself out and then I exported it as a PNG sequence. I then used one of the frames and brought it into Photoshop. And this is where I'm going to create the costume from scratch.
And here we go.
At first, I tried cheating. I grabbed a Zuko cosplay image and slapped it on my body. Yeah, that's not working.
You serious?
So I do something smarter. I take an image of Zuko's outfit and I send it to ChatGPT. And then I ask it to break down each piece of clothing. That's to say, the pants, the shirt, the vest, the books, everything piece by piece. And now I'm rebuilding the costume manually, starting with the pants, then the shirt, then the vest. The yellow bands, I couldn't find them, so I just painted them. Okay, so now the waist belt. Let's try it. Yeah, no, that looks terrible.
What is that?
But now I start adding the shadows. Just trust the process.
I got this.
So I add the shadows, matching the reds, adding shadows around the neck and arms, and suddenly this is starting to work.
Not bad.
Then I do Zuko's scar. And right now I'm looking at it like, okay, we're actually doing this. This is actually going somewhere. So now I finished creating the costume in Photoshop, but I'm gonna use a program called EbSynth or EbSynth to basically take that one frame with the costume and apply it to the rest of the frames in the video. And technically it works until this happens.
What is that?
Yeah, you see my arm moves in front of my shirt, and EbSynth completely loses its mind. The costume warps, the shirt breaks. I try rotoscoping the arm, doesn't work. I try the clone stamp in After Effects, still doesn't work. At this point, it's already day 3, and the whole day is just me trying random things and just hoping. You know what? We're gonna leave this here for now. Let's go do the hair. I try copying Zuko's exact hair in Photoshop and put it on my head. Let's look at it.
You look awful. Just awful.
Obviously, this is not gonna work in Photoshop, and I don't even really know how to create hair in Photoshop. So we're just gonna have to do it in 3D. So this is where everything changes. I bring the clip into DaVinci Resolve and I use Magic Mask. And honestly, it's insane. Way better than After Effects Roto Brush. So I mask out the arms and then I export that. Going back to After Effects, I grab a clean frame where my arm isn't blocking the shirt and layer that shirt on top of everything. Thankfully, I wasn't moving too much when I shot this.
What a relief!
Now let's see if it works. Wait. It worked! I fixed the costume. Okay, now let's create the hair. So I go into Blender and then I grab a 3D head model. So I shape it to roughly match my face and then I add hair particles. I sculpt the shape, add some wind, and now I have hair. Not perfect, but good enough. Okay, so now for my favorite part.
Fire! Oh, fire! Oh my goodness!
So in Blender, I draw a curved path matching my hand movement and I track a sphere along that path. The sphere is now controlling the fire. So I start simulating. It takes multiple tries. My computer struggles like crazy. At one point, I generally considered throwing it away. But eventually, I get a fire simulation that I like. Once I applied the shader, it was perfect. So in Blender, I exported each element individually. That's to say the birds, the fire, the ground, the sky, me, the hair, everything. And this is so that in After Effects, I can layer everything back on top of one another. And this way, I'm able to composite it better. Now in After Effects, I add some glow, some sparks. I even put this light on me in order to react to the fire simulation. And I also used Red Giant's Super Comp to help me blend the layers even better. And by the way, if you don't know about Super Comp, it's a cheat code. It's amazing. So then I do the color grading in DaVinci Resolve. And then I'm done with the shot or shots. Wait, no, it's shots. Hold on. I completely forgot about the other shot. This first shot took me so long to do that I completely forgot that there was a close-up. And it's already day 5, so I rush everything. Rotoscoping, fire, compositing, sound design, and done. Now leave a comment as to what effect I should try next or which character you want to see me transform into. Because honestly, I'm just getting started. Now was this worth the 5 days of work? I'll let you decide. Here's the final video.
The breath becomes energy in the body. The energy extends past your limbs and becomes fire.